This week we're talking with Brooke Holthe, who teaches second grade at ASU Prep. Mrs. Holthe, it's your first year at ASU Prep. What are your impressions so far?
I love it. I love the kids. I love being able to work with a variety of different students. We do have a wide range of ability levels here, and I do like being able to work with them and help those students and pull them one-on-one.
What made you decide you wanted to become a teacher?
I've wanted to be a teacher since I was a little girl. I've always played the teacher role with my friends. I've always adored all my teachers. I was actually a student who struggled when I was younger, and I had a lot of teachers make a difference and get me where I needed to be. And so I wanted to do that for my kids as well.
Nice. So who was your favorite teacher in your life?
Oh, man.
Who was the one that had the most influence on you?
My second grade teacher, Miss Taylor. I did not learn how to read till second grade because I didn't have a good teacher until that year. So all my teachers, I was in like a K1 class, and they didn't focus on any of us students really and do reading centers. And then my teacher finally took the time to teach me read when I was finally in second grade.
Wow. And so Are you taking some of the experiences that you had with Miss Taylor and becoming the Miss Taylor for your students?
Yes, trying, hopefully.
Okay. Have you had any, what's your experience been like this year with your students? Have you had some of those moments with your students where you see that they're actually getting it?
Yes. Since we do DRA levels, I have kids who start off at like a beginning kindergarten level who are now like almost second grade reading level. Not all of them, but a lot of them have made quite a bit of growth. And students who were extremely struggling in the beginning, very like not even being able to know the sounds of words. So going over the sound recognition and all that. So it was great to be able to make that difference and for them to be excited and get a book and go, look, Miss Holthe, I can read this. So.
And you're probably a good person to ask this question. You know, Arizona passed a law where students who are this year's first graders, starting with that group of kids, by the time they finish third grade, will have to be at grade level in reading, or else they won't move forward. How does that put pressure on you as a teacher, or how does that change your teaching, if any?
I think it puts a little more pressure just to make sure that those kids are getting where they need to be. But I do like our walk to reading program that we have, and we have them on their ability levels. That way we can focus mostly on them and get them what they need. Because the kids in my class that I have for reading aren't going to need those same kids that are in, say, Mr. Garcia's or Miss Sims or someone else's. They already have those boundaries, so they don't need to have that shown to them. So.
And for parents and people that are watching this that don't know, what is walk to reading? How can you describe what that is?
Walk to reading is we group the kids based on how they did on their Galileo testing, their reading ability levels. We group them so that they are in a classroom full of kids just like them, and so they're all at that same level and needing the same thing, so that we can get them where they need to be, so that they can move up. That way, they don't have the higher kids or the lower kids and them wondering where they're supposed to be. They're all grouped together so that they're comfortable.
Okay. In your first year, what has been your most memorable moment of teaching so far?
Oh my goodness. I don't even know how to explain that one. My kids are amazing. Actually, this was probably the best birthday I have ever had in my entire life. I have never been like huge about birthdays or really celebrating them or making a big deal of anyone's birthday. My kids had other teachers come in here and say it to me. I had older kids who I don't even know come say it to me. You guys said it on the announcement. Miss Ballesteros came in and made a sign and they sang to me in Spanish. And I got lots of gifts, which I wouldn't expect. It was so sweet how excited that they were more than I was for it to be my birthday.
I was going to say, I think your students might want to explore a career in public relations, because I don't think any other teacher or any other person on campus this year, I knew your birthday, everybody knew it was your birthday because your students did such a great job.
I know, they were super excited. I was like, it's just another day, it's my birthday, I'll go to dinner, but they made a big deal of it.
That's good.
Yeah.
And so are you from Arizona originally?
Well, I was born in Ohio, but I've lived here since I was 2. I do go back every now and then during the summer to go see family in Ohio, Michigan, out there, but it's kind of been a while.
Okay. You actually kind of had a challenge this year in that you actually started, our school year started August 1st, but you actually came on in September because of our growth in second grade. We had so many students, we added a section, and so I'm sure that must have been a bit of a challenge for you.
It was, not only because I started after the kids were here, it was a month after the kids started. They already had different teachers and had their boundaries for their classrooms, what they were supposed to do, and then me getting half from each of those classes and having to figure out, okay, what's working for both classrooms, what do I like to do, and kind of incorporating what they did and what I want. And then also not having as much time to prepare and get my classroom ready. So I tried very hard to get it ready in the few days that I had.
Well, I know some of our kids were, didn't like that change, and after a month of getting used to their original teachers, but clearly showing how they, love you and celebrate your birthday and everything else. I mean, they really have adopted to and just love you as a teacher. So I think that's a real testament to you.
Yes.
One of the things I always like to ask in these interviews is, so when you're not teaching, what are some of the things that you like to do in your free time?
On the weekends, I sleep a lot. I usually will just relax, watch movies, sleep, maybe hang out with my friends if I make the effort, but I really like to just enjoy my time and relax.
Good. One of the things I was going to also talk about is you also are leading the art extended day.
Yep.
And so what are some of the things that you're doing in the extended day art program for our young students?
Recently we worked with clay. They got to sculpt what they wanted. I gave them a few different colors to work with, and they all talked about what they wanted to do with the clay. They also ask if they can free draw. I usually every now and then ask what kind of things that they would like to do. We did some interesting scratch art. It didn't turn out all that well, but it was fun and the kids enjoyed it, and some of it was their first experience coloring on the paper first with crayon and then painting over it with tempera paint and then scratching it off. I think next year I need to have thicker paper, probably cardstock, but it worked out pretty well, and on the wall out there we have all their work for them that
Fantastic.
they've done. Yeah.
Well, that's good. Well, the best thing is next year we get you for the entire school year. You get to be there from day one.
Yes.
And I know everyone's excited about that because you're an outstanding teacher.
Oh, thank you.
Everyone thinks you're doing a great job. Your students obviously love you, and so thank you for all you're doing at our school.
Thank you.